Okay, we are live. Good evening, everyone. I'm Chavan, the host, and along with me, the market strategist, Jay Vora. In this webinar, first of all, welcome to Strike webinar, everyone. In this webinar, we'll be discussing the top-down approach. Now, what is top-down approach? You know, First you need to have a broader view on the markets. Then, once you have a broader view, you will come down to the sectors, and then from the sectors, how to pick the right stocks. Jay Ora will be walking through the webinar. He'll set the process, and of course, we'll be having the Q&A, which we'll be taking up later on. And there is comment section. If my voice is audible, those who are there, just comment yes. So that we'll start the webinar. Okay, fine. All right, Jay. Good evening. The markets has been very sideways, shaky. Not so good for the bulls nor the bears. Yes, of course. The recordings will be available. Jignesh ji will you know yes, it will be available on the same YouTube channel. We'll be sending it after the webinar gets over. So Jay, talking about the markets, not so great. Sideways.
Yes.
The global geopolitical situation also is not so great. What do you say about the markets before we get on with the strike tool?
Yeah. So actually, I would agree that there is a lot of noise that prevails in the market at this point of time, and you have the extremes over here. One says that war will come, and things will collapse. It will turn out to be a world war, and all those things. And on the
Mm,
other end, you have a camp, which says that wars usually lead to a bottom, and eventually we see a big up move. So there is this two extremes that are there at this point of time.
mm,
Just to make sense, see, what always usually happens is that based on the price action, there are media narratives. Okay, matlab, if the prices are falling, then they'll say war has happened, इसलिए price have fallen.
mm,
Then अगर war होके ऊपर जाएगा तो worst is discounted and
mm,
market is looking forward. So it is usually narrative. So we always have to try and make sense of firstly what the chart is telling us, and the second thing is what are the data points that are telling us. So
mm,
if these two things marry each other, then there is nothing like it. Sometimes there is conflict between these two as well, but
mm,
which is basically your price action and your indicators, right?
mm.
So that's where you have to try and assess what is the best probable thing that can unfold, say in the next few days, weeks, and that's how you gotta assess, and you have to trade or be in the market or position yourself in the market.
Okay, fantastic. So Jay, talking about the top-down approach, if someone is new or still trying to figure out strike, how difficult it is to do the
No,
top-down approach. Usually you do it, you know. So how difficult it is for the users?
so see, every technique has its own limitations as well, right? I mean,
Mm,
sometimes when it is a stock specific market, top down approach will not help you, especially when if it is going. I mean, your broader view is that the market is going down, and supposedly there are a handful of stocks that are going up. You might feel that FOMO. Okay, oh shit, I have missed this. I could have bought this. I could have earned money. But the actual thing is that these are all things in hindsight, right? I mean, when
mm,
you most of the people would agree that they will tell कि मैंने आज trade लिया और मेरा कल stock गिर गया. That is
mm,
usually the case. I mean, with most of the people. So where top down brings sanity is that you have to get right what the Nifty index is going to do, right? That is like the mother that you have to figure out what is going to happen with that. If you're
mm,
done with that, your next step is to find out which are the stocks or which are the sectors that can possibly do well. Okay,
mm,
when
mm,
you try and be right on these two parts, your 80% of the job is done. Basically, you are
mm.
in the right sector and you are in the right trend, right?
Yeah.
Then all you
Mm.
have to then find out is that which is the stock that is going to do well.
Okay.
So what happens is that through this filtration, your chances of you going wrong is relatively less. I mean, it doesn't mean that you cannot go wrong, but you are trying to filter it out. Okay, and when you filter it out, the chances of you making those mistakes go less. I mean, go down dramatically. At the same time, when you are a bottom up guy, you are trying to say that, okay, boss, company is very good, etc., etc., but Nifty is
mm,
gonna fall 10%. What is the guarantee that the stock is gonna rise? You
mm,
might feel that you have outperformed, but in absolute terms, you have lost money, right? I mean, Nifty 10% down, stock going 4% down. It's a mixed emotion. Matlab, PMS guys will feel very good because they'll say we have outperformed. But as an individual where I have to make absolute money, I will cry
mm.
because I have still lost money. So that is how it is. I mean, see, there is nothing right or wrong. It is basically which is best for people and which suits their personality. So top down approach is something that works well for me. So I try and apply it that way. I would put it that way.
So, what is the process you follow in terms of strike? When you come to strike and when you say like top down approach, what is the steps you take
Yeah.
before
So
we
I'll
start?
first, yeah, I'll just broadly explain it. So to understand what is the trend of the Nifty, okay, I try and use sentiment indicators because within
Okay.
sentiment indicators, we have previously done a lot of webinars as well in
Mm,
educating people, saying that which are the indicators you need to know, which are useful for very short term, which are the indicators you need to see, which is from a medium term perspective, and which is the one those are useful for long term perspective. Okay,
mm,
now now, see, the thing is that we should not get much into long term because वो long term का whatever signals are there, they take 3 years, 4 years, 5 years to play out. So
mm,
talking of that doesn't make sense. Medium term makes sense because the results are evident and you can see it probably happening in 3-4 months as well, right? So a combination of daily sentiment indicators and weekly sentiment indicators, I mean, the ones which are relevant for those two time frames, that is what we'll discuss about. So to form a view for the Nifty index, I normally look at the sentiment indicators, jisme I told you the two time frames that we'll watch. The second thing, once that is done, okay, now there are two ways how you can find out which are the best performing stocks. One is through the absolute price performance. That for that we basically use heat map. And
mm.
if you want price and momentum combined, so you sort of use RRG for that. Okay,
Okay.
if you're
Mm,
using heat map, you can of course use RMI as well to time it.
mm,
Okay, in fact, RMI can be used in both the cases, but one is that RRG helps you to scan relative performance plus momentum. Heat map
mm.
only helps you to scan based on the price action.
Price
Okay,
action. Okay.
so yeah, so I mean purely absolute price action. That's about it.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, can you show it in strike? Where is this sentiment indicators? Where is this heat map? Where is this RRG? Before we
Yeah.
even start.
So let me share my screen. You can see my screen, right?
Yeah.
Wait 1 minute.
Yeah. Okay. So, viewers, please confirm. You can type yes if you're able to see screen.
Wait, just a second. I just need to tweak my net.
Yeah.
Just give me a minute.
Sure. Okay. Jay is having some internet connection. So, viewers, just hold on for a minute. We'll be back. And yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I switched to my actual net. Yeah, now it should be
Oh,
fine.
okay.
Uh,
Yeah.
so yeah, for basically sentiment indicator, you have to hover over here and you have to go to
Mm,
sentiment indicators. Okay.
okay.
For heat map, again second button hover and heat map may NSC price indices. And to find out stocks, we are going to go into scanners. Okay. So that will be the thing. Now let's quickly go to the sentiment and see. I'll not discuss all the sentiment indicators, but I'll tell you few interesting observations that I have been noticing. Okay. Now,
Mm.
firstly, it is important to understand what does it look like in the medium term. Okay, because that is what we are concerned with. That is where we will try to assess what the medium term trend is. So, if it is bullish, then ideally we have to try to find all the bullish setups. If it is bearish, then
Mm.
either find a bearish setup or look at or review your portfolio and try to book out the places where the reversals are happening. Okay, so now, when we try and look at the medium term, there are few indicators like client plus FI net future index. Okay,
Mm.
over here, basically, when you see the chart, it is very much self-explanatory. But let me just highlight you. So whenever this reading come towards the lower second red line, okay, that's where the market that's where the market typically bottoms. Okay, you can see over year which is in November 2023. Then it was around the election time, so it had come between 1 and 2. So the first line is like you can say in your technical terms oversold. Second line is like extreme oversold. Okay,
Okay. Mm.
so this was the only time, basically in April, where this range was breached significantly on the downside. But eventually, that big bounce back came, and this reading eventually played out. Now,
Mm.
the interesting thing over here is that typically, the readings go from one extreme to the other extreme. Okay, that's
Correct.
how it is. So what is happening is that this oversold condition we were in, we have moved out of that. Okay, and in fact, in this sideways consolidation that we have seen recently, the reading has again come back to extreme oversold zones. So, my idea or my gut feeling or the historical pattern says that it should ideally go back towards at least the first line, if not second line. Okay,
Mm.
and that's where maybe we can say that this extreme reading has played out on the upside, right? And that's where basically this rising indicator means a rising market. The falling indicator typically means falling market. That is how it is. Okay. Now, this is one indicator, as I mentioned to you, which is pointing out that we are probably around the medium term bottom, right? Because as I mentioned over here, that in all these cases, medium term bottom got formed and we saw a good 10-15% kind of move.
Mm.
Something similar is happening over here. Now, the other thing is the FI future position. Okay, that is also very much similar to client plus FI, where it comes towards the lower end of the range. We can say that a lot of bearishness is there in the market right now. Basically, they are extreme short, and those short needs to cover, and that is what is going to trigger the short covering rally. Okay,
Mm.
so this also you can see is at the lower end of the extremes, which again points out towards a medium term up move. Okay, now the issue over here is that these indicators are pointing towards medium term up move, right?
Mm.
But what has happened is that in this fast up move that we have seen in the past 1 or 2 months, in that case, what had happened was that the 40-day AD that had gone towards the second extreme. Okay, so typically what it means is that okay, if it comes towards the second extreme, so viewers, please ignore this number that is on the right hand side. Okay, these are all the calculations that we have made. All you're bothered is how this line is behaving and whether it coming towards the upper end of the range or lower end of the range. Okay,
Correct.
lower
Mm.
end of the range typically means bullishness is likely to follow now because the breadth has been extremely weak. And when
Mm.
you are at the upper end, it is not that you say कि नीचे जाएगा, but you can say that the worst of the breadth, I mean the best of the breadth is behind us. Okay, typically what happens is that when you are forming a top, okay, so market will keep rising higher, but this breadth will keep falling. Okay,
Correct.
that's where
Divergence.
that's where you will see divergences. So
Mm.
you can see over here. that after a big bearishness that was there over here, ये up move में, okay, towards the start there was a very strong participation, right?
mm,
But after that, breadth kept on deteriorating, but the
mm,
market kept rising higher, okay, and in
correct.
between there were bouts of breadth improving.
Mm,
So I think something very similar might happen, okay, and we might also get some pullbacks from time to time. So that's about it that I'm thinking right now. So
mm,
the broader thing is that the medium term trend looks bullish, okay, but this breadth which is there, which is very strong, just a few days back, that has started to come down. So at some point of time, I would expect that this consolidation, let me zoom in. So this consolidation that the Nifty is seeing almost for 1.5 month now, that should break on either side. But my sense is that even if this consolidation breaks on the downside, okay, we might just end up seeing, these kind of support levels.
mm,
These support levels might get tested, but eventually we should head higher because the sentiment are telling us that the medium term sentiment indicators, okay.
okay.
And
Mm,
if this consolidation breaks out on the upside right away, then nothing like it,
mm,
okay. But
mm,
looking at the way the indicators are right now, I
mm,
feel that maybe a downward surprise on the downside is possible, just to shake people up, okay, and uh, maybe make them believe that all these things what are happening is very serious and all those things. But I think that eventually we should be headed higher. Now, just to clarify, whether we are heading higher right away, or we will correct over here and only then move up, that is something that needs to be seen. And that's where thinking of short term comes into play. So, when you see the diffusion indicator, so say percentage of stock above the 20 SMA. Okay.
mm,
So now you can see that it has not reached that oversold zone. Okay.
mm,
Typically, what happens is that once they reach the oversold zone, they try to rally. Okay.
mm,
Now, and even in the past, you will see that whenever a meaningful bottom has to occur, okay,
mm,
it will typically go down towards the first or the second line, and then the up move will occur. Okay. So what I'm expecting is that, as I mentioned to you, that there might be this shakeout from this range on the downside, and in that process, what will happen is that this will come towards the lower end of the range, okay, and this major support will be held, and after that we should start rising higher, okay, and in that process, there is a chance that the shorts that we are seeing by FIIs or client plus FII futures वो थोड़ा और ऐड हो जाए, okay, but
mm, mm,
this doesn't mean that this sentiment indicator has become irrelevant, okay, this will play out sooner or later, but as I mentioned, that's where you have to see what is happening in the short term, and you have to understand what is going to happen in the medium term, okay. So short term is basically your risk management tool, medium term is your trend reading, what you're trying to do. Now if I am bullish, okay, from a medium term perspective, so short term mein I am a little cautious, but medium term mein it looks to me that the Nifty index should head higher. So the next thing that I would want to do is that I would want to see K RRG mein which are the indices that are doing very well. Okay.
okay.
And for
Mm,
that, I would use a weekly RRG because daily mein kya hai, those cycles last only for 5 days, 10 days, 15 days, and that doesn't make sense if you want to bet positionally, क्योंकि वो ऐसे घूमते रहेगा. So
mm,
weekly is the best one because उसमें जब भी signal आते हैं, then you can safely say that that trend could last for 2 to 3 months. Okay,
okay.
so
Mm.
that is where you would ideally want to be. So in
So,
that case,
so RRG
yeah,
daily is for 15 to 20 days
yeah,
approximately,
yeah.
but
So
weekly is
basically,
like,
what I mean to say is
yeah.
that leading में आ गया, okay.
Mm,
So leading to that cycle getting completed, it may take just 15 days odd, okay.
okay.
So it might
Whereas
not
weekly
make much
should be between
sense.
2 to 3 months.
Yes. So when you do weekly RRG, तो यहाँ पे अगर कोई you end up getting this signal into leading. So that thing can last, probably for 2 to 3 months, and that's where you can make good money as well. So of course we will discuss which are the signals also to follow. Okay,
Hmm.
matlab it is not just that khali leading mein gaya to we should follow and on those things. But at this point of time, specifically when we see such bigger tales that are happening over here, say in IT, media, reality, the length that they are covering, that is good. And something which is towards the north side and heading towards east, that usually tells you that your x-axis, which is the RS ratio, that is improving, and your momentum is improving. So those are actually the ones where the momentum is there, right? So
Hmm.
I can clearly see that reality, media, and IT are the outliers. Okay, maybe these are the ones where the opportunity can emerge. So as I mentioned that, see, I am a top down guy, so I would first need a confirmation from the Nifty index as well that we are breaking out. Okay, when Nifty index breaks out, I will then see what is happening in these sort of sectors.
Hmm.
Okay, whether the momentum or the RS ratio is still rising or not. If it is
Hmm.
still rising, then it's very good, it means that they are outperforming. Okay,
Hmm.
now when I know that these sectors are outperforming,
Hmm.
okay, what I would tend to do is that I would look at which are the stocks within those sectors
Hmm.
that are doing well. Okay, so I can
Okay.
see over here Prestige is the one.
Yeah.
You can see that it is going towards the right side. Soba, that is going towards the right side. Godrej Properties, the momentum was falling, but now it has started to outperform a bit. DLF. Now, see, if I have a choice, okay, I
Hmm.
will always try to pick a little outliers because that sort of shows the strength. Just
Hmm.
in this case, actually, as I mentioned to you, the angle which they are in,
Hmm.
the angle which DLF is in is much better
Hmm.
because it is rising towards north and it is rising towards east, right? So that means that its momentum is also increasing and its RS ratio is also increasing. So in this case, DLF would specifically look interesting. Godrej is something where it looks promising and it can make a comeback as well. Okay, and it can break into the leading. So then, if I have to, if I spotted these two stocks, then the next thing that I would want to do is that I would want to look at the chart. What is happening, right? You can see what has happened. That it has come back around the previous high and now it is consolidating a bit,
Hmm.
right? It
Yeah.
is consolidating a bit. Godrej Properties, if I see, again what has happened is that it has come towards this previous high somewhere over here and it is consolidating over here. Okay,
Correct. Hmm.
so then what I would do is that I would go on scanners.
Yes.
Okay,
RM.
I'll go to
Hmm.
scanners.
Hmm.
उसमें there is a proprietary indicator which is Rohit momentum indicator. Okay,
Hmm.
so
Hmm.
there we typically get buy sell signals, right? So
Hmm.
यहाँ पे I'll go to
Reality.
yeah, Nifty
Reality
reality
ऊपर गया.
ऊपर. Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
sorry.
Hmm.
So I'll go to Nifty reality, okay, and I'll see what is happening over here. Now, as I mentioned, DLF, you can see that it has gone sideways and it is consolidating, right?
Correct.
So the ideal setups are the ones where the RMI goes back towards the zero line
Hmm.
and then it gives a signal. Okay.
Okay.
Imagine if it gives a signal over here, these may not necessarily be very good setups. Okay. When it comes down towards the zero line and it gives a bullish signal, that would mean that in this consolidation, what may happen is that uh, the 40-day exponential average, which is more like a short to medium term kind of support level, that holds on, and wahan se when we see this turnaround, so that's
Hmm.
where typically you will end up seeing such kind of patterns, and that will actually be powerful moves as well. So
Okay.
DLF was one. So over here I can see that on daily it is sell. So I would wait patiently for it to come down towards the zero line and then
mm,
give me the next signal. Okay, when it does that, that would be the sign that the next leg of up move is starting, and that's where you would be probably be able to make some good gains on the long side. Okay. Apart
okay,
from that, the other one that we saw was Godrej Properties. It is
correct.
again going through that same thing,
Mm,
where basically there was this minor consolidation. I mean, this resistance zone which was there, it managed to break above that, and now it is trying to consolidate above that. Okay, it
mm,
is because it has seen that gain. Now, as I mentioned, the best thing would be that it coming back towards the zero line and then turning around. And in that process, if the 40-day holds and it bounces back, so that would be a signal of the new leg of up move starting. Like you could see somewhere over here as well, that bullish crossover happened somewhere over here, and then you saw that up move. Okay,
mm.
so yes, I mean that is how you would look at.
Yeah. Now, my doubt is, Jay, if you can go back to RRG, okay, you explained a bullish phase. Can you
Yeah.
just take an example of a bearish sector, and then how will you, decide the stocks from a seller's perspective? If someone wants to exit or someone wants to short sell it on, futures market.
Yeah. So in that case, what is happening is that you can see over here consumer durable. Okay, actually consumer durable has managed to pick up a bit, but
Mm,
say for example, I mean this is totally opposite of what we are looking for bullish. We are looking at north side and we are going towards the east side, right? So more like a 30-60 degree kind of angle, right?
mm,
Abhi downside may also it is like that if it is going towards left
mm,
and it is going down,
mm.
that means that uska momentum is also going down and uska relative strength is also going down, which is not a good sign.
Okay.
Okay, so
Mm,
in that case you see weekly mein pharma and healthcare,
mm.
right? And in fact you can see over here this nifty India consumption that has also come on the downside,
Okay.
right? So basically these are the three sectors that are looking weak technically. I mean, especially on RRG. Okay. Now we can also see the chart and we'll
No,
realize,
one second, Jay.
yeah,
Yeah. Just hold on here. My doubt is, okay, you said, okay, this nifty consumption is coming from improving to lagging. What about a sector or a stock which is coming from lagging to weakening? Is that also a good sign? I mean, for to sell on the sector or something?
lagging to weakening.
No, leading to weakening.
No, no, no. That may not be a good idea. See, I'll explain you how it works. Okay. Say for example, this is a chart. Okay, up move is happening and some consolidation is happening. Okay.
Hmm.
Now
Hmm.
imagine that this is a RRG chart. This is
Okay.
leading, this is improving, this is weakening, this is lagging, right?
Yeah.
So when this phase is happening and because of this strong outperformance, what will happen is that the stock will go from leading to weakening. Okay.
Hmm.
Now, if it does not enter lagging, but if it starts turning around from here, this
Hmm.
would be the sign that this consolidation is probably coming to an end and the stock is
Yeah.
likely to break
Yeah.
out.
Yes.
So, in this phase, what will happen is that the weakening से जब ये घूमेगा, तो most likely it will again go back to leading and it will start outperforming. So
Hmm.
understand this way that anything which is on the right hand side towards the I mean of the 100 line,
Hmm.
okay, this is the middle line. Whichever is on the right hand side, these are the indices that are outperforming
Hmm.
because unka RS ratio is more than 100,
Okay.
right? So you
Hmm.
would not want to short which are outperformers, okay? Because there is a chance that when their consolidation completes and they start moving higher, so you might be on that wrong foot. Now see something like commodities, which went from leading to weakening and now lagging. This
Hmm.
can actually be the one. where you might want to concentrate. So for that, you might want to go to Nifty commodity ka basket, okay, and you might want to see which are the stocks over there
Hmm.
jahan pe either. Now see, one is Adani Green. I don't think Adani Green is in FNO.
Hmm.
Now see this, something like Coal India, NTPC, Ultratech Cement. Okay, these are all going right. I mean, left hand side and downwards.
Hmm.
These are the ones where the momentum is very weak. Okay,
Okay.
so
Hmm.
if you want to short, okay,
Hmm.
these will be the ones that you might want to. I
Look
mean, these
into.
are the ones where you might want to see
Hmm.
if a sell setup is warranted or no. Okay, or
Hmm.
are they giving signals of sell or no?
Okay.
Okay. Now see
Hmm.
something like Tata Steel. You can see that this has turned around from here. Okay. Let us go a little back and see Tata Steel ye turnaround kabhi kiya. So this was 9-6, which means starting of the week. So if I go on a trading view chart
Hmm.
and I see Tata Steel and I see 906, say 906 means somewhere over here,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
Okay, somewhere over here. So, oh, sorry, 906 is basically this. Okay,
Okay. This is
so
on the
see
weekly.
what is
Hmm.
happening over here.
Hmm.
This correction that had happened after, see, it was because of this sharp up move that it came to somewhere over here, right? Wait, let me Tata Steel. Yeah. So you can see over here that
Hmm.
because it had outperformed, okay,
Hmm.
it had seen that nice up move towards the leading. Okay. Now when it went into this corrective phase or it started underperforming, so that's where it ended up going to the weakening quadrant. Now
Yeah.
charts are possibly telling us that it has stopped falling and the momentum is also turning around and the RS ratio is also turning around. So this can be a good place to see what is happening. And in fact, if I if I ch- if I had seen correctly, Nifty metals were the one which had gone from lagging to improving, right? And it is
Okay.
going right hand side on the upside.
Hmm.
So again, Nifty metal ka one of the biggest component is Tata Steel, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
So this can be an interesting bet also, matlab, to see on the upside, basically. But on the downside, if you ask me, commodities may. So Adani Green was the one I'm not sure if that is in FNO, but these are the ones, say NTPC and all those things, right? So what we can do now is that we can go to the scanners,
Hmm.
okay, RMI scanners may we can go to
Consult.
commodity,
Come. Okay.
okay, and usme we had seen Ultratech, okay, Ultratech ka see the RMI is in bullish mode,
Hmm.
right now.
Hmm.
So and the good part is that, so just like we say that the best signals are the one which comes from the zero line and then it goes higher, right? So over
Hmm.
here this was a false signal, but supposingly something like this, this worked out well. So
Yeah.
similar on the upside, niche se it should come towards the zero line and then it should fall. So those are like a good signal.
Hmm.
Okay. So now, if I want to say, for example, short Ultratech, what I would want is that price is not moving above these crucial averages, okay, and then RMI also going down. So once the
Correct.
RMI starts going down, so
Hmm.
then this can be a good bet, and especially when these trend lines get broken on the downside, it will be
Hmm.
like a further more confirmation that now one more leg on the downside is possibly starting. And
Correct.
in that case, your expectation will be that it is sort of going in a
Hmm.
downward channel, and you
Hmm.
might want and you might see that the stock falling probably to this lower end of the channel as well.
mm,
So that is how it can help you. So basically what we are trying to see is that थ्रू आरआरजी मीडियम टर्म में उन लोग सबका ट्रेंड डाउन है, राइट?
mm,
सो हम शॉर्ट टर्म में वी आर ट्राइंग टू फाइंड वेयर द न्यू बेरिश सिग्नल कैन कम, लाइक से फॉर एग्जांपल कोल इंडिया, ये तो ऑलरेडी सेल में,
mm,
ओके, तो इसमें वो सेटअप ही नहीं बन रहा है. द अदर वन दैट वी सॉ वाज एनटीपीसी.
mm,
NTPC is also in buy right now, but see, it is consolidating. So over here, you have to be patient for it to come towards the zero line and then give a sell. So then it might make sense to short, where possibly
correct.
you can expect the next leg of the downside to play out.
Mm. Okay, got it. So, but if I'm a short-term trader, Jay, on the RMI, I'll be looking at hourly and daily.
So see, I'll give you the definition कि वो signals कितना work करता है. Then because nowadays even holding for 5 days is feels like long term after
Mm,
COVID especially. So but see, early May whenever the signal comes of a bullish
mm,
crossover, that can last anywhere between say 2 days to 5 days. That cycle, okay,
mm,
मतलब bullish से होके bearish से होके zero आने का.
mm.
It might take somewhere around that time. Okay, I mean actually bullish से crossover देने का. Now
Okay.
when it comes to the daily time frame, the whenever the bullish crossover comes, typically you would see at least 3 to 4 weeks of move on the bullish side. Okay, if basically the trend is bullish. So say for example you can see over here, Feb 18th को it had given a signal, right? And it took almost 5 weeks,
Yeah.
this up move. So again, the thing is that if this also comes over here, okay, and then probably goes down, you might expect that at least 3 to 4 weeks का तो मंदी होना चाहिए उसमें.
Mm. Okay. Fine. And so now, just to summarize, Jay, you checked the sentiment, you found it bullish, you came to RRG, you found out what is the sectors. There only you tried to check what are all the stocks, and then you added RMI. Right? That is the
Right.
Rohit momentum indicator.
So just
And
one thing that I want to press upon is that always try and juggle between two time frames to understand. Okay,
mm,
understand what is happening in the higher time frame so that you know where directionally we are going to go.
correct.
Okay,
And
and look
execute
at
also.
the
Mm,
look at the shorter time frame so that ऐसा ना हो कि my medium term is looking bullish, it is gonna go 15%, but before that there can be a 2-3% correction also, right?
mm, mm,
So to fine tune that, probably come down to one lower time frame. In case of execution also you can use daily or hourly also, if you are
okay.
a very short term trader. If you are a slightly positional trader, use weekly and daily, but
Mm,
yeah, always use two time frames that can help you.
okay, got it. Uh, Fantastic, Jay. We'll start taking up the questions from the people. I mean, the viewers. Please start posting your questions. In the meanwhile, Babu Raj is asking for short-term traders is hourly or daily RRG more effective for
So as
short-term.
I mentioned,
Sorry,
yeah,
go on.
I mean, as I mentioned, that early, if you get those signals on RRG, that may
Hmm,
last for 5 days to 7 days kind of thing. Okay. Now
hmm,
you have to know whether your short term is 5 days, 7 days, or 3 weeks to 4 weeks. If
hmm.
it is 3 weeks to 4 weeks, then you have to ideally look at daily chart.
Okay. So viewers, please go to web.strike.money if you're not using. Create an account. You will get a 7 days free trial. Start using it. Jay, in the meanwhile, to all the viewers, if they want to understand this video, I mean this knowledge better, can you show in the help section where I can see the videos so that I can learn?
Sure. So once you create an account over here, basically at the top there is help section.
Hmm.
Okay, within help section there are I mean, whatever are the key features of RRG, we have put it over here. You can see that RRG was also explained. This was like a 1 hour webinar that you can
mm,
get insights of. And apart
mm.
from that, sentiment is nothing but finding tops and bottoms in Nifty using sentiment indicators. So these are the two topics that we had discussed, and also of course RMI, how to use it. I mean, it is not like कि blindly buy आया तो कल ही जाके buy करो, sell आया तो sell कर दो. You have to see certain setups. So if you want to know much in greater depth, you can look out to this video, which is identify best stocks for buy and sell using RMI.
Okay, fine. So guys, start posting your comments. Okay, your view on oil and gas sector if you want to do it using RRG. J.
Yeah, oil and gas. Hey, sorry. First, I'll have to look at the index. So over here, oil and gas is this. Okay. So see over here, what is happening is that in the weekly chart, it is going towards the right, but it is going down. That means the momentum is falling. See, what happens is that always momentum is the one that gives you the early sign. Okay,
Mm,
like you see
mm,
over here, the red line is the momentum, the green line is the RS strength. Okay, now see what happens is that when momentum turns, eventually RS will also turn. When RS turns, that means your outperformance that you're seeing that may not last. Okay, so in a way, if I have to put it, momentum precedes any turn on the upside and on the downside. Okay,
mm,
so over
mm,
here, if the momentum is turning on the downside, I would expect that probably RS will also at some point of time turn around and go down.
mm,
And even if you have to do some analysis as well, you can take the top and the bottom and see what is the FIBO ratio. So it is somewhere around 50% where it is halting and finding correction. Okay.
mm,
And it has gone range bound over here. So look out whether it is able to sustain and break above the range bound or no. Because if it does break out, then momentum will again start picking up. Okay. And RS, which is so far rising higher, may continue that trend as well.
okay.
But just like you see over here, red line turned first, then the green line, and then you went into the sideways consolidation. Okay,
Mm, mm,
here red line turned first, then the green line. Red line first, green line second. It will always be like that. Even on the downside, red line will turn first and then the green line.
okay.
So always look out for momentum, what it is doing, because eventually RS will follow that.
Okay. Fine. Those are there. If you're understanding what Jay is trying to say, if you're having any doubts, please do ask. If you're understanding, at least you can type yes, I have understood, or whatever you want to say. But if you're having any doubts, yeah, you can just ask, and of course we'll clarify. So to all the viewers, start using web.strike.money. Go there and you sign up. We are still waiting for the questions. Before we end, Jay, I mean, we don't have much comments coming in. Any doubts, guys? You can start asking. We are here to address it.
So there is
Okay.
one question asked, which is
What
uh,
is red and green line? Red and green line in RRG, right? Rachit, you're asking about the RRG?
yes, yes, yes.
Okay. Yeah.
So in RRG, basically the red and green line is nothing but your momentum and
Mm.
RS.
Right.
Okay. So even if you want to know, you just double click over here, you will know what is
Mm.
this. So JDK momentum is the red line, JDK
Mm.
RS ratio is the green line.
Green. Okay. Fine. Um, Yes, guys, come on, start asking the questions. Those who are not still using the strike, web.strike.money, go there and sign up. And of course, if you are interested, you can also subscribe by going to plans and billings. Jay, if you can show them. Those who are
Yeah.
interested, just go ahead, buy the subscription. Make sure your trading and investments is done through data driven decisions, not by someone's advice. And Strike is the right platform to give you that data where you can take decisions easily. um, yes, okay, good session. Okay, good session. Thank you for sharing the information. I'm already subscribed. Do you have any other sessions for subscribed members? Definitely we'll try to have, you know
More
uh,
of this.
yes, more of this webinars. Thank you, Sagar. uh, Thank you for the kind words. Definitely we'll try to have more webinars even for the subscribed members on the Zoom platform. We'll try to do this as soon as possible.
In
uh,
fact, tag us and let us know what do you want to learn, so that if we
yes,
get many of those requests, then we'll try to arrange a webinar on that topic.
yes, absolutely. So guys, do subscribe and start using Strike. Thank you, Jay. Any ending statements?
No, no. So, it's just that, as I mentioned, I could see that some people have joined just a while back. The thing
Mm,
is that, see, top-down approach and bottom-up approach, these are very different approaches, and so understand what suits you in either ways, whether it is bottom up or top down. Strike will help you, because if it is a bottom up approach, you just see what those stocks are, and they are in which quadrant, and just look for the RMI setup. Okay, that is the only thing. Top down way, the filter that we are putting is that what Nifty index is going to do and what the sectors are going to do. Those are the two filters that we are putting. The other thing
correct.
of finding stocks, going to scanner and trying to find the setup, for that we are anyways coming back to our basics only, which is RRG plus the scanner combination.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Shripad.
mean, so just one thing, why we press more on top down is that when you try and filter out those things, mainly, I would say that 60 to 80% of your mistakes will be forgiven, even if you are wrong in your analysis, because mostly you might be getting into an outperforming sector, and when the market is going up, mostly the outperforming sector is going to do well, because that is what we hear in the market, right? Okay,
Mm,
strong will become stronger, weak will become weaker. That is the concept which is always there. So that's where top down approach will help you a lot. But if you're a bottom up guy, then anyways we have all the tools covered for you.
okay. So Shripad is asking, subscribed yesterday, very good platform. Would like to understand how the Strike will help for option trading index. You know, yes. So just
Actually, that
share
is
your,
yeah,
yeah,
that is a whole big webinar. Maybe we can
yes,
plan it for
but
the
yes,
next
of
session.
course,
But
yeah,
yeah, just very quickly, there is this unique screen that we have built, which is Strike OI Insights. Okay,
correct.
so now you don't have to see, okay, within, say for example, I go to say any of the stock. Okay, I go to Reliance, and over here we have also given the option of combined OI. Once you do combined OI, that means we are seeing across all the expiries. So you can see over here that there is a big green bar. Let me zoom out. So yes, 1500 call option has a very high open interest. Then 1400 put has a very high open interest. 1460 has seen a lot of addition, and so on, right? So isme kya hai, you have to go and you have to hover, right? Imagine all this thing you're seeing at one screen, that too for all the FNO stocks. So what we cover over here is highest OI for call option, put option, where is it that OI addition is happening, where is it that liquidation is happening. All these things, we cover it over here. So say for example, Reliance, I just have to type over here and I get the same information, which is 1500 call as the highest OI, put has the 1400 put as the highest OI. Okay, 1460 addition is happening today. 1460 put also is happening addition, and 1400 call and put are getting liquidated. So all this information you just get in one specific tab. And if you want to see where is it that the highest unwinding is happening, where is it that highest addition is happening, you can sort it out over here. And we have also put a logic, okay, which means that if they are coming near the call open interest area, then we identify it as near resistance level. Okay, so you can see over here NBCC it has gone up 2%, but 120 call has a very high open interest addition today. So it is very much possible that 120 may not be easily broken on the upside, right? So which means that there can be some selling pressure that can come in, and maybe if you would want to trade on that. So similarly, if
Yes.
some stocks are breaking above the call area, we identify it as above resistance. Okay. Now, in some of them, you're seeing that unwinding is happening, but at the same time, say something like policy bazaar, the call shorters are not moving out despite it going above the 1900 level. So, these are all the kind of information that you'll get. Of course, as I mentioned, this is a long, topic to discuss, like how to use it, how to time it, and so on. So maybe, we can consider,
Yeah.
some other time
But by
discussing
then,
this.
Shripad, do one thing. Just go to help section,
Yeah.
and go through this important features of strike. You know, uh,
In this, there is
you
the
know,
strike OI inside strategy for option buyers,
option
how to
buyer.
trade. So
You can go through this video. In fact, many are asking. Santosh is asking. I've already subscribed, but not sure how to use all the features. Now, again, Santosh, just go through the best features of strike. There are 6 videos, and I'm sure by going through it will hardly take you 1.5 hours to go through all the 6 videos. I'm sure by the end of the 6th video, you'll get a whole clarity as to what strike is all about and how it is going to help you. Okay,
yeah,
so
actually,
start
it
with
might not take you. It might not take 1.5 hours because some of the videos itself are half an hour. But trust me, they are informative, and we have
yeah,
tried to cover all the smaller nuances as well. So
yes, absolutely, and also yes. So guys, anybody who's not able to understand how to use the features, just go to help section and just click on best features of strike. You can just go through. Strike is the only platform where you get all data whatever you need, be it fundamental, be it technical, be it valuations and everything. If you want to search about a stock, if you want to understand their fundamental data, all you need to do is go to search and just type the name. You can just go to any of the tabs what you want, and then you can start using it. You'll get the overview, then you can go to the fundamentals also. So you don't need any other platform other than strike. This is the kind of system what we have built. We also get the valuations over here. It's not only FNO, but also this tool is meant for investors also. uh, yes, and okay, somebody is asking, okay, Abhay is asking, is this data live or is there any delay? Right now, some of the screens are on 1 minute snapshot, some of them are in 5 minutes delay. But right now, we are shifting everything to 1 minute snapshot. Now, what is 1 minute snapshot? 9:15 data, you'll get it at 9:15. Then 9:16 data, you'll get it at 9:16. In between 59 seconds, there won't be any update. Since our pricing is so less, we cannot afford live markets. So that is where it's not live, but 1 minute snapshot. So every minute you will get the data live. Okay. Sir, weekly data when update? It is updated. RRG is updated.
yeah, actually, we are bringing those changes. Many of the people. Yeah, actually, it's good. He asked the question. I'll clarify it
Subhash
on
is
records.
asking a very valid question. So,
Yeah.
Subhash, please note when RRG is there, we are showing at the beginning of the week, and that is where you are feeling that the weekly data is not updated, but that is not the case. It is
Yeah. So
updated even till today.
yeah, see, I'll give you an example. Now, monthly, it will show you this date as 2nd June, right? It will show you this date as 2nd June, but you pick any of the index, say Nifty IT, okay? Nifty IT ka whatever is the rate that you see over here, 38414.10. So I am just taking trading view, okay? Nifty IT, if I type over here, the data is 38,414.10. Okay, so this is basically as of, I mean, this is as of today. Okay, what we have done is that we are taking starting of the month over here to show that the current month is still going on. But anyways, we have got a lot of feedback, and this we are going to improve. So once we release the new RRG thing, this issue will be covered,
Yeah.
and hopefully you should not have lot more
Yeah, but
confusion.
it is not a confusion, Subhash. The
Yeah,
data is updated till today. It is just that we are showing the beginning of the month. Okay. And should we refresh frequently? No, not required. It auto refreshes. You
auto
know,
refresh.
yes, it auto refreshes. Yeah, Abhay, thank you. It's really a very good strike. Thank you so much, Abhay. Do subscribe to Strike. If first of all, tell your friends, whoever is there in the markets, to go to web.strike.money and kindly sign up, start using it. It's a 7 days free trial, and then if you're interested, you can subscribe. Keep supporting us, and definitely we'll update all the features to 1 minute, and we'll make sure that the performance also improves in the next coming months. We are also planning to build a mobile app right now. We have just started with the design. That is the good news. We have started with the mobile app design. So, probably in the next coming months, mobile app also should be available for you to start using. It will take some time, not within a month. It will take some time, but yes, we are already, uh, working on it. Okay. Explain how to know unwinding in OI intraday. It's a big subject which we cannot take up right now, but just go through the help section. You will understand the video. I mean, just go through the videos. You will understand. So, thank you so much, guys. Thank you for all the people who have attended this live. Once again, if you want to see the recordings, all you need to do is just go to our YouTube channel. Jay, if you can just go to our YouTube channel.
Yeah. So yeah,
Yeah, just type in strike dot money, strike IC underscore IC. Yeah, yes. So you'll be getting it over here. This is our channel. Okay, there are some ads going on. Just go to the strike dot money and go to live. Yeah, okay. So right now, this is the link. The first one. You know,
yeah.
the
The
first one
current
you
one
can
is
see the.
this,
Yes,
and
you
these
can
are
go
all
through
the
the previous.
webinars that we have done in the past.
Yes, you can go through. So this will be available right away the moment we exit from here. You can start watching the recordings for those who have joined late. Thank you so much, guys. Uh, thank you so much once again for all the support. We will keep doing this webinars. In the comment section, please put in whether this webinar was of, how was the webinar, and did you get some value out of it? Would love to know feedback from you guys. So do post a comment. We'll look forward. Okay,
Yeah.
fine.
Meanwhile, you can also put in a request tagging us on Twitter for what topics you all need.
Yeah,
We'll try and cover those topics as well.
okay. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you. Thank you, Sagar. Thank you so much. Bye bye.